For most heroes, a sidekick is just support. But in Gotham, the role of Robin is something else entirely. It's a legacy, a symbol, and sometimes a tragedy. Over the decades, multiple people have worn the red and green colors beside Batman. Some became legendary heroes. Some walked darker paths, and one of them died. Yet every Robin shared one thing in common. They were all chosen by Batman. So, today we're diving into the complete story of Robin. Every generation, every tragedy, and what each of them eventually became. Because the truth is, Robin isn't just Batman's partner. Robin is the future of Gotham. The story of Robin begins with a boy who lost everything. Dick Grayson was the son of circus acrobats known as the Flying Graysons, famous performers who amazed crowds with breathtaking aerial stunts. Dick grew up in the circus, learning agility, balance, and acrobatics from a very young age. Then one night, everything changed. A mob boss named Tony Zuko sabotaged the trapeze ropes after the circus refused to pay protection money. During a performance, Dick watched in horror as his parents fell to their deaths in front of the entire crowd. Among the audience that night was Bruce Wayne. Bruce saw himself in the boy, another child whose life had been destroyed by crime. Instead of letting Dick grow up alone with rage like he did, Bruce took him in. But Bruce didn't just adopt him, he trained him. Dick discovered Bruce's secret identity as Batman and begged to help bring Zuko to justice. Eventually, Bruce agreed, and Dick Grayson became the very first Robin. Robin wasn't just a sidekick, he was a balance for Batman's darkness. Dick's optimism and humor helped humanize Batman, turning the Dark Knight from a terrifying vigilante into a true hero. But Dick eventually grew up, and he began to realize something important. He didn't want to live in Batman's shadow forever. So Dick Grayson left Gotham and forged his own identity. He became Nightwing. As Nightwing, Dick became one of the most respected heroes in the DC universe, leading teams like the Teen Titans and protecting the city of Bloodhaven. Many fans even believe Dick Grayson is the greatest success of Batman's mentorship, because he didn't just become another hero, he became a better one. If Dick Grayson was the perfect Robin, Jason Todd was the complete opposite. Jason grew up on the streets of Gotham, surviving through theft and petty crime. One day he made the mistake of trying to steal the wheels off the Batmobile. Yes, he tried to rob Batman. Instead of punishing him, Bruce saw potential. Jason reminded Bruce of himself. Angry, reckless, and desperate for direction. So Bruce trained him and made him the second Robin. At first, Jason tried to follow Dick Grayson's legacy, but Jason had something Dick never had: rage. Jason was more violent, more aggressive, and far less patient with criminals. Batman began to worry that Jason might cross the line. Then the worst possible thing happened. Jason tracked down his biological mother, only to discover she had betrayed him to the Joker. The Joker brutally beat Jason with a crowbar and left him locked inside a warehouse rigged with explosives. Batman arrived too late. Jason Todd died. For years, Jason's death haunted Batman. It was proof that the Robin experiment could fail, but the story didn't end there. Years later, Jason was mysteriously resurrected and returned to Gotham under a new identity: the Red Hood. Unlike Batman, Red Hood believes criminals deserve lethal punishment. He fights crime using guns, brutality, and intimidation. Jason Todd became the Robin, who proved something terrifying, which is, even Batman's students can fall into darkness. After Jason's death, Batman became colder, more reckless, and dangerously obsessed with fighting crime alone. Gotham noticed the change, but one person understood exactly what was happening: Tim Drake. Tim was a brilliant young detective who figured out the secret identities of both Batman and Nightwing just by observing their movements. He realized something critical. Batman needs a Robin, not as a sidekick, but as a moral anchor. So Tim approached Dick Grayson and convinced him that someone had to step into the role again. Eventually, Bruce agreed to train Tim. Unlike the previous Robins, Tim wasn't chosen because of tragedy or anger. He was chosen because of his mind. Tim Drake quickly proved to be the most intelligent Robin, with detective skills that many believe could one day surpass Batman himself. As Robin, Tim became a key strategist and leader, eventually joining and leading the Teen Titans. Later, he would evolve into new identities like Red Robin and Drake, continuing to fight crime while stepping out of Batman's shadow. Tim Drake proved that Robin didn't have to be defined by tragedy. Sometimes the greatest weapon is simply intelligence. Stephanie Brown's story is one of the most overlooked chapters in Robin's history. Her father was the villain known as the Clue Master, a criminal obsessed with riddles and elaborate crimes. Stephanie decided she wanted to stop him. So, she created her own vigilante identity. Spoiler, she eventually crossed paths with Batman and Tim Drake, becoming an ally in their war against crime. But when Tim was forced to temporarily retire as Robin, Batman did something unexpected. He gave the mantle to Stephanie. Stephanie became the first female Robin. However, her time as Robin was short. Batman believed she disobeyed orders during a major operation, leading to a massive gang war in Gotham. As a result, he fired her from the role. Soon after, Stephanie appeared to die during a brutal torture incident involving the villain Black Mask. Her death deeply impacted the Bat family, but like many comic book deaths, it wasn't permanent. Stephanie later returned and eventually became Batgirl, continuing her journey as a hero. Stephanie's story shows that sometimes the Robin legacy isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Then came the most controversial Robin of them all, Damian Wayne. Damian is the biological son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, the daughter of the infamous Ra's al Ghul. Unlike every Robin before him, Damian was raised from birth to become a weapon. He was trained by the League of Assassins, taught to fight, kill, and dominate his enemies. When he first arrived in Gotham, Damian believed he deserved to be Robin simply because he was Batman's son. But Damian had a major problem. He was arrogant, violent, and completely unwilling to follow Batman's rule against killing. Despite this, Bruce eventually allowed Damian to become Robin under Dick Grayson's Batman during a time when Bruce was believed dead. Something interesting happened during this era. Dick Grayson's lighter personality balanced Damian's aggression, slowly helping him grow into a better person. Over time, Damian transformed from a ruthless assassin into a true hero. He became the Robin who struggled the most with darkness, but also the one who fought the hardest to overcome it. Throughout DC history, several alternate Robins have appeared in different timelines and universes. Carrie Kelly became Robin in the Dark Knight Returns storyline, where she helped an older Batman return to crime fighting. In the Flashpoint universe, Helena Wayne, the daughter of Batman and Catwoman, took on the Robin role. There have even been darker versions of Robin, like the terrifying Batman Who Laughs version, where Robin becomes twisted by evil. These alternate stories show just how powerful the Robin symbol really is. It can exist in almost any timeline. At first glance, Robin might seem like just a colorful sidekick. But Robin represents something deeper. Batman is a symbol of trauma and vengeance. Robin is the proof that trauma doesn't have to define your future. Every Robin started as a damaged kid in a broken city, but under Batman's guidance, they became something greater. Nightwing became a legendary hero. Red Hood became an anti-hero, shaped by tragedy. Tim Drake became one of the greatest young detectives in DC. Stephanie Brown proved that determination can outlast failure. Damian Wayne learned that even someone raised as a weapon can choose to be a hero. Robin isn't just Batman's partner, he is the next generation. In the end, the Robin legacy tells us something fascinating about Batman himself. Bruce Wayne may operate in darkness, but every Robin represents the light he's trying to protect. And maybe the light he's trying to become, because Gotham will always need a Batman, but the future of Gotham will always belong to Robin. If you have ever felt the same way about these characters, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow so we can keep diving into stories like this. Thank you.